No, are we allowed to say it on YouTube?
I'm not quite sure. I can bleep it out.
You can bleep it out if I get.
Yeah.
How did you get this to happen without Congress? But you're telling me you need Congress. Yeah, that math doesn't math. I really think we're being lied to. They want to scare people. I think if people knew the truth about how bad Kamala is really doing, there would be people that just go, fuck it. She also got into the conspiracy of the hurricane. Well, then if you believe that, then why wouldn't you believe that they had something to do with...
The more information, the better.
The number one thing, if you can get that from me today or at any time when you hear me talk about this kind of stuff, is to... doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
Just
run
a
it all back.
motherfucking jump. Just go. And welcome to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I am Troy Neff, your host. And over there
Oh, here
is Chase. Chase,
Hello,
how are you,
hello.
my brother?
I'm doing pretty good today. How are you today?
I'm a little worn out from having so much fun. A little worn out. Then we're not even done. It's 2 days and we're gone, man.
You're just starting.
Yes,
Get a little bit of
we
rest.
just got back late last night.
Mm-hmm.
All day, basically. Well, we didn't get out of Nashville until late afternoon.
Okay.
You know, and it was like a 5-something
Flight.
and then that was to Detroit.
Oh, so you had a...
Yeah, because I couldn't get a straight flight with first class on anywhere.
And you're not doing that
And I
mistake
wasn't
again.
doing that first class and sitting with the cattle. I just wouldn't do it. So we went to fucking Detroit, for an hour. And then, the flight back. But it was just, it was long.
Yeah.
It was long.
Definitely.
It's a long day. And a great time, again, with my daughter. It was not perfect, but it was a great time.
Yeah.
Because we can't say it's perfect, because she wouldn't say it's perfect. It was perfect being together.
Yeah.
Except that we went to the Alabama Vanderbilt game. Now, you got to understand that if you were an Alabama fan,
Yeah.
and you could pick any game to go to that, on Alabama's schedule,
Yeah.
you're going to pick one. You could pick one that's going to be a battle like it was with Alabama and Georgia. You could be that. But if you want to pick one where you know that if you go, your team's going to win.
Yeah.
If you want to pick that game, the game that you would pick would probably be Vanderbilt. They have beaten Vanderbilt 40 straight years. 40 straight fucking years.
That's a long time to keep being a team.
That's a long time.
A long time.
Until now. That game, I tell you, Vanderbilt ran that ball right down their throat.
Yeah.
The whole game.
It was a
ran
little
it
too
down.
easy.
They could not stop them. They run an option,
Okay.
which, so the quarterback's going out.
Yeah.
Depending on what he sees, he's either going to keep it, he's going to pitch it.
Yeah.
And a lot of misdirection stuff. And Alabama doesn't play a lot of teams that play that type
play
of
that
offense.
style.
And they were not ready. And if they were ready, well, they just didn't figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because there was literally no part of that game where like they just didn't know which way the guy was going or the ball was going.
Yeah.
And that was that way from the beginning of the game to the end, literally running it down their throat. Now, interesting enough, they had a really cool play that now I've seen 2 NFL teams run it yesterday or on Sunday. And it's so interesting that to see that happen right away like that. So it was where the tight end, the quarterback's moving back, and the tight end is like running up
The middle.
to the center.
Okay.
Right behind the center.
Yeah.
And he pitches it to him.
Oh, you're
right in the
right.
middle.
Yes.
And they scored on that.
Mahomes did that, right? Was
And
it Kansas City?
yes,
Yeah.
Kansas
You're
City
right.
did
You're
it.
Right. You're right.
And there was another game
was
that
one
I
other
liked
game.
that they did it too. And I was like, I know they're all watching TV and picked that up because that was just too
It was too perfectly
perfect.
Yeah.
Too perfect.
No,
like
you gotta
that.
love that. Get it a little more
Pittsburgh
creative.
did it.
Was it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh ran it. That's why I was saying Pittsburgh ran it. Now, we didn't get it, we got some
results,
yards, but we didn't get the results that Vanderbilt got. And then, of course, Dallas and the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys and Steelers, that was We had that game. We had that game and let it slip away.
Yep. That
was
that's
tough.
all I can say about that.
Yeah. Tough. So yeah, now I'm going to see my Steelers take on the Raiders. So we'll see how that
Hopefully
works
that
out.
one should be a better one. I mean,
It was actually a good game.
no, it was a great game.
It was a good game.
game.
The Steelers and
yeah.
the Steelers. You know, I'm still with Fields. I'm still back in Fields.
I agree.
I'm not with these people that want to see what Russ can do now.
want
Now,
Rudolph.
before the season started, I was all with Russ.
Yeah.
I was all with him. I'm fine with it. And for Fields to kind of take a back seat.
Yeah.
But because he was thrust into it in the beginning,
Yeah.
now if you want to see if he's going to be your long-term option and if you think there's a chance that he could be, then you can't pull him now.
No.
You can't, because he really didn't cost you either game, you know?
And you're gonna kill that momentum that they're having.
You can't.
No, you cannot do that to them.
No.
I agree. You gotta allow someone to come back and bounce back, and then from there
Yes.
see how they're gonna take the negativity or whatever.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's gonna get negative comments whether they win or lose. Obviously we know that now.
Yeah.
So. No,
So
but
interesting. Now, like I didn't know how far Alabama would drop, but dropping from number 1 to number 7, very interesting, because Miami, who is at number 6, is 6-0 and has played great ball. Now they have had a game where it was close, but still,
the majority of it, they've been dominating.
They've been dominating. Yeah. They've been really good. And then to have Georgia, now Georgia's loss is a better loss because it's to Alabama. But how good a loss is that if Alabama loses to Vanderbilt? And so why should Georgia be ahead of Alabama?
Like the same thing I asked you before we started. Like
that doesn't make.
How do they take any of this into account? Like we were mentioning, like you have a 5-0 BYU all the way down here, and you got
here's the cool thing that's going to happen is that Ohio State and Oregon play this coming Saturday.
This Saturday,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a really good game.
So you have number 2 and 3 going at it, like we had Georgia
Previously,
and Alabama going at it. So one of those is dropping. One of those is dropping for sure. And pop up Penn State's schedule because I am so tired of seeing fucking Penn State.
They got USC and Wisconsin next.
Both of those,
and then Ohio.
Not easy games, and then Ohio State. So there you go. So Penn State is not staying in the top 10 very long. Good. And then Washington after Ohio State.
Yeah,
Washington beat Michigan and shocked a few people. But that's what I said was going to happen, right? Didn't I say Michigan has the toughest schedule? And they just do not have the toughest. They don't have the best, as good a talent as they did last year. They have some good talent, but
they had people leave.
I think if they had a halfway decent quarterback,
and
usually your Ohio States, your Michigans, your Alabamas, usually they got a couple of them.
Yeah, they have the top.
I mean, look at Texas. I mean, Texas has, 2 really good quarterbacks. You got the Manning kid waiting on the bench, and he's as good as any of the top 10 in the entire NCAA, I think. I mean, we've only seen a little bit of him here and there, but he has looked great every time that they've popped him in there. I
love how the orange makes him look like mug shots. I don't know if that's just me.
And then but Quinn Ewers wanted to come back, and he was picked at the beginning of the season to possibly be the Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah.
Okay.
So
have they?
So
both
that's
been
what I'm
playing
just
back and
saying.
forth?
They have two good ones. And Ohio State some years ago, when they won the national championship, won it with their third string quarterback.
Really?
Yes. So that's why I'm saying usually these bigger schools like this are fairly deep. They're fairly deep, fairly deep, but not Michigan for whatever reason. But then you get, dumb Ohio State fans online. Oh, now that, they can't cheat anymore. Oh my God. You're listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast, and I'm your host, Troy Neff. Look, do what you can. Listen when you can. But please, just do one thing for me. Hit that share button. Share this, not with everybody. Just don't hit this share to everybody on your list. Pick a couple people that are like you. that you have a relationship with, that you really like, and that you think, well, hey, you like this, they might like it too. Share it with them. That's all I ask. Hey. How about just celebrate your team's undefeated wins?
Yeah.
You're back up at the top. You're number 2. Okay, you easily can say you're as good as the number 1 team, right? So why not just enjoy that?
I think nowadays it's just like it's common to celebrate by like
it's like people want to always, and I'm trying to see how much I do this. I'm trying to track this in my daily activities because like there was a post because I'm still a part of the Ram TRX truck stuff since we had the Ram TRX, but now I don't anymore. It was a great truck. But the people in this group can be stupid. Okay. And so some guy had his jacked up a little bit and some bigger tires on it. And there are people just flipping out on it. Like
oh, you shouldn't be
that it shouldn't be jacked up. This or that, yeah. Like, and it was so many of them. But it's like, really? I mean, we all have a little bit different taste, a little bit different style.
But I think when you come to like unique cars like that, where there's only like a certain amount of people with that type of car, you're gonna have a majority of people always like have their version of how it's
that it should just be that way.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because like I always comment when they talk about the security of the cars and putting these iglas and these other like things on the cars. Yeah. And it's like that's what I have insurance for, motherfucker. Like they think that these are so special. It's a $110,000 truck. That's all it is.
Yeah, it really isn't.
It's an expensive truck. It's a cool truck. It is. It's fast. It's cool. But dude, it's not the only one. It's not the only one. Relax.
It's not the most expensive car on the road.
And where the fuck are you people living that can afford a $110,000 truck, but you're worried about it getting stolen? Where the fuck do you live?
In Phoenix somewhere, right next to Scottsdale.
I can't say anything because when I was young, this is so stupid. I had a Porsche 944.
Ooh,
it sounds cool, doesn't it? Silver. It was cool. I lived in a double wide trailer. So the car looked great, but there you go. So that's kind of what I'm picturing these guys with these,
like the big ass expensive cars, and then they go home.
They got this
trailer park.
Well, they got this Ram, the truck that they're worried about.
They're worried more, but the car's probably worth more than the house.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. You're probably not far from.
I might not be far off on that. So a little bit more about the trip to Nashville. Absolutely was fantastic, and the Omni. We were at the Omni. In Nashville. Totally 10 times better than the Omni in Indianapolis. Do not stay at the Omni in Indianapolis. We even said something to the person that was checking us in, and he agreed. Because he had been there. He said, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Like he looked around. He didn't want to get in trouble for talking shit about the company, but way, way different. And, had a full living room, nice.
So
nice
it was
little
up to
little
standard.
bar. Yeah, it was way nicer. Way, way nicer. So we were right in the middle.
Where'd you go out to eat?
We went to Jeff Ruby, which is a fantastic steakhouse. Went back to, we went with Anthony, my watch guy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep. And Kendra, his wife. That was a great time. And with my daughter, we did the bourbon steak.
Ooh, can't go without some bourbon.
Nope. So we did
pretty good with the food side.
We did pretty good on the food side.
Nice.
Oh, another cool. So we went and worked out the one day. My daughter wasn't there in Nashville yet. She was traveling. And in the morning, we went to this place called Gym 5.
Gym 5.
Gym 5.
Okay.
It's just really not stripped down, really
bare.
Just cement and the equipment and just my kind of gym.
Yeah,
very clean.
I love the aesthetic
stuff, but it was very, very cool.
Yes.
And so there was nobody at the desk.
Okay.
So then I find somebody, and he didn't really work there. And he's like, just, when you see somebody. So we went and started working out.
Yeah.
And then after a little while, I checked. I saw somebody up there, so I walked up there. And so I met Justin. And so I'm telling Justin, hey, I got to pay you. We're working out. My daughter has a membership here, and, want a day pass or whatever, but we're going to be here for a few days, be coming over. And he ended up not charging me and giving me a pass for the time that we were there. You know why? My MAGA hat. My MAGA hat. It's the hat, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen you wear this one, actually. Is this one newer?
Yeah, newer.
Okay.
So Trump, well, I would say most in Nashville is probably more conservative, but there is like an area of Nashville, and that gym happens to be in that area where it is more liberal. Okay. The people that live there.
Gotcha.
And stuff. So he said him and the owner, who he's friends with, who's his friend, I guess.
Yeah.
That. Yeah, they don't really get to talk about politics much, out in the open.
Surrounded area.
Yeah, so they do it, just them in the office with the door closed. Yeah, so he
it was
really
like some
that.
relief to be able to actually talk about something like that.
And so let's do this. Pull up my Facebook.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I definitely can.
So we'll jump there. This is on the way home. So when we were on my way home, when we got to Phoenix and got off the plane, we had saw this couple get on the plane. And very nice. So we went to the baggage area, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to scroll down. It's not very far.
Just give it a second. Good old internet.
Yeah, we're supposed to have like the fastest shit in the world.
You have some of the best internet. Like I've been around some areas, and you have some of the best.
Here
internet.
you go, right here. Right here. So that's me, unshaven for a couple of days. And that's a wonderful lady that came up to me when we were in Phoenix. And we were, in the baggage area and waiting. And she came up to me because of my MAGA hat and told me how much she loved my MAGA hat.
Love that.
How about that? And what have I told you before?
That you get the most compliments.
The most comments from women over 50.
Yep.
That say something to me, and just super nice. I had a conversation with her and her husband. And because he had a Rolex on too.
Yeah.
He was in He was in like a little cart.
Okay.
Because I think he had some mobility issues.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I saw that he had the green Hulk, and I noticed that. I said, I got that. He had the Hulk too.
Hell yeah.
It was very nice. So we had a good conversation about it. But just so you see, I got my USA shirt on. USA. What do people do when Donald Trump is announced at the Alabama football game? They, it was Alabama, Georgia. They chant USA, USA. You need your felon shirt. Only felons. Okay? He's going to put a picture of it over here. He's going to have like a little email, okay, if you want to get one. Okay, there's not a lot of time left. We got to make some people, let's just irritate some people between now and Election Day, right? It's a cool shirt. It fits good. It's comfortable. You'll really like it. All right? I'm the Outlaw Apostle. I'm Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy about it. But it just goes to show you that I really think we're being lied to. That what they're telling us isn't true. They want to scare people to the polls, because I think if people knew the truth about how bad Kamala is really doing, that there would be people that just go, fuck it, forget it. Because it's not even, I don't even think it's close at all. Okay. Now, I really don't. At this point, I really, really don't think it's close. I saw her. I haven't watched The View, but I watched most of her appearance on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And it was horrible, dude. And it was the easiest interview that you could be given. I mean, this guy's throwing softballs. Now, he did ask questions to give her a reasonable opportunity to answer it.
Okay.
And I will give the interviewer credit that he would... at the end of her bullshit answer, say, like, repeat it, because she didn't answer it. Literally didn't answer it. And if you don't pay attention, she can almost get away with it. It almost sounds good.
Yep. I know what you're saying.
But if you really, really listen to it and really pay attention, you pick up right away, oh my God, this is fucking horrible. Bullshit, yeah. This is bad.
She's just rephrasing the same thing in different ways.
Yeah.
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 That is sad to hear from
rephrasing a non-answer
Yeah.
in a different way.
Gotta love that from a potential world leader.
Right. Well, getting to the to say that for immigration purposes,
Okay.
that we need Congress to do something, and I'm not going to dispute that we don't, but he did bring up, look, whatever you're saying is, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Whatever your policies were, it was pretty bad, and yeah, Trump. There wasn't a bill that was up not very long ago that Trump helped defeat, that they said, because it really wasn't as good as it sounded, because it allowed a certain number in every day. It didn't really kick into, you get to a certain amount and then it would kick in and make it harder or to close the border up.
It was just like an everyday type of thing.
Yeah. It had to average so many people, like above 3,000 or something like that. So above
3,000
a day
Jesus
for like
Christ.
12 days. And then it would kick in these, certain things
But if you miss one day,
Right.
the average goes down. You got to restart that number again. No.
dude. So it did get defeated.
Okay.
And so they were blaming, this whole thing. Well, Trump just wanted this for an issue. But now they're trying to claim, that he actually did implement some things similar to Trump that has made those numbers go down. But just recently, just in the last 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you saying you needed Congress to do that when you just did it? So if you really listen to her answer, you're like, you're still full of shit, because take Trump out of this.
Yeah.
You didn't need that. You allowed more people to come in the beginning. And now without Congress, how did you get this to happen without Congress? But you're telling me you need Congress. Something's not right there.
Math is not mathing.
No, the math is not mathing. That's one of my newer favorite things.
I love to say
that
that.
math doesn't math. So
No, but no, that really doesn't make sense. And it's weird. Like the more, because I've always tried not to get super political because it can kind of get a little depressing at times. But recently I've, obviously doing the podcast and stuff like that, I've been kind of like looking into it a little bit more. And you are not wrong. The answers Kamala gives are just, I can't even put it into words. It's just so it's hard to listen because, again, like you say, like if you're not really paying attention, it can sound good. It can sound like a proper answer. But if you're actually sitting there and listening to what she's putting together, then it makes almost no sense.
How about this? If I was vice president and I was running and I didn't want to shit on the president that I was the vice president for, what I could say is, look, Chase, I gave the president my advice in the meetings that we had.
Yeah.
And he's the president. He makes the final decisions.
Yep.
And my job as vice president is to support those decisions.
Yeah.
And I did. Now, if you want to talk about what policies in the future that, that maybe I can want to influence or which direction I want to go, I can share that with you.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's a great way to
there's
put
a
it.
way
That
to
is a great
there's
way
a
to
way
put it.
to put it
Yep.
and to say that, look, because that is your job.
At the end of the day,
Look,
she
you're
has
supposed
follow
to
the
give
rules.
me your best advice. And so are the other people around me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do 100% of what you told me.
Yep.
I'm going to do what I think is best from all of that information.
I agree.
And she should just say that too. There's got to be. She's had these easy questions enough, and she doesn't do it that much. And she's going on with the easiest people who aren't going to beat her up, and she's looking bad with the easiest people.
That's the funny part.
So why can't you come up with a better answer than that? You've had all this time to come up with an answer, or your people have.
But that's what I was going to say.
Because
She has
you seem to repeat this shit pretty well.
Yeah.
You remember it. You're practicing it.
Oh yeah.
Because you're just repeating the same thing over and over. You're not just popping off at the top of your head like I do, which is what I do. I do the whole show popping off at the top of my fucking head. Maybe why it is what it is. But Trump does the same thing. But I understand Trump. I understand why he gets distracted.
Yeah.
Because I get distracted
It's
with the
too easy.
stories,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
way
just
too easy.
this, and it goes to here, and
yeah,
look where we're at. We're on Kamala, and we were talking about the airport, but it was MAGA, and it is related in the fact that I absolutely do believe that she was 15 points at least
Ahead.
No, behind.
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 Okay.
And she's still at least that, if not more.
Yeah.
If not more. It hasn't gotten better for her.
From what I've seen, I agree.
No.
That people, the more and more time gets closer to November,
I'm
fewer
sorry.
people that are getting behind
I
Kamala.
really believe this. People who are voting for her, I would say a good 90% or more of them are voting against Trump. They are not voting because, oh my God, I gotta that Kamala just we just gotta have her. There ain't nobody motherfucking saying that. Nobody.
No, I agree. And the people that are saying that they have no knowledge when it comes to any sort of politics.
No, and if you push them to be specific, they can't.
They can't. No.
And the reason they can't is she hasn't been specific. And you know what really convinced me too? Think about this. Like I said, I didn't want her to take over as president, but I really think that was what was supposed to happen because Biden is that bad.
I agree.
If something happened to her, God forbid. Did you see Tim Walz? You really want that guy in the Oval Office?
No, thank you.
I don't know how he got to the governor's seat. All right? No. I don't. But I sure the fuck.
No.
No, not even close.
No. We'll let Kamala run for a
what's
little bit longer.
What did he say? Was it knucklehead?
I don't remember, did he say? Anything that man
like,
says, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
sometimes I'm a knucklehead.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that it? So, yeah, was he going to say that when he's in a meeting with world leaders?
Oh,
sometimes I'm a knucklehead. You know, that time I was over in South America. Tim, you weren't in South America then. Oh, yeah, sometimes I get that stuff wrong. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no.
No, man, look, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I will say this. During that debate, and I've seen Vance, but not like I saw him in that debate.
Okay.
And getting to see him that long in the debate and to see how he handled it, and then how he handled those moderators when they shit on him and were not correct, when he challenged them and made them look bad, right? That to be he just looked presidential the whole time. Like, he might not be my number one choice, but I'm okay if something happened to President Trump. I'm okay with JD taking it.
Yeah.
Way more than Walz. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I agree. That man,
no,
I really like what you said.
So there
was
was. I watched the Patrick Bet David podcast. Okay. And he's got a group of guys around him, and they just talk back and forth.
Yeah.
And they brought up, you don't want to think it, but them in the last 30 days taking him out again, trying to take him out, I really wouldn't be surprised. Or what would happen if they were actually successful? What would happen to the election? And I don't even want to think about it. They had a trouble.
That's hard to answer. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They had trouble talking about it.
That would be hard
because you didn't really want to contemplate it.
That is a really tough position to be in as a country.
Because then, what does that mean? Does that mean we're voting for JD versus her? Then
I mean,
I don't know.
That's not.
I don't know.
I don't know result, but I mean, I don't know. That.
Well, Patrick Bet David actually thought that's what would happen, and that JD Vance would win by such a large margin because you'd have so many people that would just be so angry, at that are middle of the road people. They'll just say, you just don't get to win like this. This is not how you get to do it.
No, but even then, at that point, because then you no longer have Trump in office, right? So all those people that are voting against Trump, that now changes in a way, right?
Right.
Because you wouldn't have all these people saying, "Oh, well, it's no longer Trump; it's just another candidate." So
I don't know.
That's interesting. Did they say anything about what was their final? Do you remember what the final thing they kind of settled on in like a
more
little bit,
like what Patrick Bet David said was more that
he just would, a landslide kind of win.
Yeah.
That's interesting you bring up. I didn't really think about that because, I have thought about, obviously the idea of, Trump, another assassination attempt. But, I didn't really think about it that far. that does
about them actually being successful.
Yeah, that that's
before the election.
that's interesting. You say that, and that's gonna I'm about to dig into a little bit because realistically, that's not too far like of an idea of like.
Well, it's not a stretch to think that they're
really
not going
is
to try
not.
again, because if you're willing to try a second time,
within a month.
yeah, within 2 months that we've had
months?
this, so we're saying it can't happen again.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of
yeah,
here.
no, that is so crazy to think now. That I'm a little perplexed.
And especially since now you have more stuff going on with Iran and Israel kicking, some ass in Lebanon.
yeah.
Which is they're really going after other people that Iran supports.
Yeah.
So, and then
That is interesting.
then there's this too. Let's continue and
Okay.
move
Yeah,
move
no,
over with
yeah.
this. So, my daughter brought this up.
Okay.
And now that she brought it up, I've seen people talking about it.
Okay. That's usually how it happens.
And I'm not in that camp. I love my daughter,
Uh-huh.
and I'm so proud of her that I'm happy that I have been able to influence her in some ways, but that she still
has her own opinion.
has her own true opinion and
stands behind
comes
it.
up with has a reasonable way that she came to that conclusion.
Yeah, it's not just
She just
I
didn't.
chose this person.
Yeah, all
I chose
these
this
people.
person.
Yeah, these people have bullshit stuff that they say,
Yeah.
but they don't have anything to back it up because they didn't search out to try to find an answer.
Yep.
So she really liked Robert Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
So she loves this hookup here. Her only problem was with the Trump. Really, was more with J.D. Vance and more with the abortion issues in the nuances of the abortion issue, because they are trying to do a
ban.
Well, no, they're trying to. No, they're not going to do a ban. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Trump didn't want a ban. There's not going to be a national ban. But for the intravenous, right? That's not what they call it. The fertility, where they plant they take the sperm and then it's already mixed and then they put it in there, right?
Yep.
So there's some controversy about that,
Yeah.
and on the right, and what some conservatives think, and then super conservatives, that kind of thing. More of that,
Okay.
her that's her issue.
That
with
was more of the issue. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That I get that too. But that's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be
like a main drive, kind of like
No.
main topic kind of thing.
No.
Yeah.
But it was interesting what she thought of Robert Kennedy Jr., because I really didn't think a lot about him until about the week that he was considering dropping out and then did.
Yeah.
When I started listening to interviews of him and what his views were
Gotcha.
more in depth. And even I have to say,
Pretty impressed with this.
yeah, like with his thought process, and it is difficult to listen to him because of his voice sometimes.
Gotcha.
But when you get past that and really listen to what he's talking about, he makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha.
And he's into things that I'm into as well, and what I believed about COVID, and then also food. He's big on like food,
Okay.
and that we allow too many crappy things to go into our food here, and that most people know that in Europe they don't let you do that shit.
It's banned.
Yeah, it's banned.
It's banned.
there. So he's kind of on that issue too.
Good, because I think that's a pretty
I
big
think
thing.
so too.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing we need to focus on.
Yeah.
Because I was just recently watching a clip from Wall-E. Have you ever seen Wall-E?
No.
It's a Disney movie. Like basically the world goes to shit and everyone's in like a spaceship and everyone's fat because computers pretty much do everything and blah 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 blah. But it led to this rabbit hole of me like going down like the food industry here in the United States, and there is a lot of things banned that are illegal in other countries that I was about to say Arizona, that the United States just up there is like, yeah, it's fine. Like what is it? The sugar, the corn syrup, whatever it's called.
Cornstarch?
Like that's one of like the biggest things that's like a big no everywhere else, but here in Arizona or in the United States, it's just like the most commonly used like ingredient. Like it's crazy. We need to fix the food.
We need to fix the food.
We need to fix the food.
Yeah. So so I did like that. and that she, like I said, that she comes up with her own opinions like that. And so that was fun to talk about too.
Like actually,
at dinner
like a
and
deep
stuff and have
conversation.
good conversations on. And her husband Bobby contributed as well, and Dawn's into that. So it was good for it was good for all of us. So I really looking at long term and the people her age too.
Yeah.
You know, because she's 30.
Yeah.
And college educated. Because what they like, this whole thing about college educated people and Kamala, and like, you get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. But with her suggestions and getting down into that, she also got into the conspiracy
Ooh, okay. You like conspiracies around here?
of the hurricane.
Ooh, a lot of crazy stuff going on there.
You know, like, and it's, you know, where do you start? You know, do you believe in chemtrails? Or do you not believe in chemtrails?
You know, it sucks because I know there's like studies where like China like has like put out that they'll make like scientific or what's the word? Like they man-made weather is a thing. Like it is proven, like it is a thing.
Well, then if you believe that, then why wouldn't you believe that they had something to do with like they can't make, I don't know if they can make a hurricane happen, but if they know one that is, influence
Like
it and influence its direction. I mean,
Well,
this has to go with the property that they're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay. And this has to also go back to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
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 Because I think a lot of what happened in Hawaii.
A few years back, yeah.
Not even that, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
That you had BlackRock buy a bunch of their property,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so that's part of this conspiracy now. Is that there's
was
this
there-
lithium.
Was there people buying out stuff out in Florida?
I don't know, but this isn't just Florida. This is North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, because I guess it
In
is
Tennessee and stuff. But this is North Carolina where they're talking about where there's this biggest, I mean, what do you need if you're going to do all this electric shit? Lithium, right?
The power.
Right. So like this is supposed to be the biggest lithium deposit anywhere in the world is, if you believe this, is in North Carolina.
Things are.
And so
things are
what
lining up a
happens
little
when
too
all
quick.
these people in this area,
Evacuate.
okay, they didn't have, not that they just didn't evacuate, they didn't have insurance for hurricane because they
'cause
didn't
it's
have
not
flood
it's not a
insurance
common
because
thing to have. Yeah.
no, like they hadn't had a flood in there in 100 years. It just wasn't something that happened.
Oh.
Do you see? So now those
Man,
people,
Troy, why do you put that in my hand, man?
okay, so if those people, what are they going to do with their property? If maybe they still have, they still owe on it, and their house is destroyed. Did you see some of those places, the videos, and where the mudslides, they showed the video of the house before and the house after, and that the
Oh,
muds
yeah.
coming and just destroying this house.
Entirety of it, like
Unbelievable, man. But I'm just saying, so if they can't, who can come in and buy all that? And who's been buying all the houses in the last 5 years anyways? Right?
man, that is tough to take in. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, because I love conspiracy theories, but like that just.
But
that
if you
just-
like
that
one,
just makes
that's,
too much
I don't know
sense.
how good I did with it,
That makes too much sense. Like,
but
no.
it's out there if you want to dig into it.
No, I mean, I don't know if I didn't read it completely, but like the picture that I just saw like before coming over here, it was saying that the hurricane became like they went up a few levels or something like that. Like it was meant to be like obviously it was still pretty bad, but it wasn't at the point that it is now. So now that you bring that up, where I mean, I'm sure they can't create this big, huge hurricane.
Well, what's
but they
the
can
other thing they
influence
want to
that
do?
it.
Well, look, they've been saying, and it hasn't been happening, that with climate change, that we were going to have more hurricanes and they were going to be worse.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been true. It hasn't been true. So what could
Yeah,
be
you're
better?
right.
What could be better for
Just
their message?
One really bad one.
To have the worst one ever.
Yep. Put something in the history books, get people worried. That is unfortunately very, very scary to think that because the lines
But
are.
why would we even think of this unless we just don't trust our government that much?
God, America
Right?
not trusting the government? What?
Right? No, that's true.
God. I hate that it makes so much sense. I think that's the worst part is that like everything you just like said, like it just like knowing what I know, like I mean, no one there has like it's just not a thing there. Like it's not like so everyone's gonna be losing.
Yes,
like without
everything.
Doubt, everyone's gonna be losing that.
And so then we go there, and this goes back to Kamala Harris and the election too.
Okay.
So FEMA has money, and they were supposed to have enough money like through this and through the next hurricane or whatever, and how much we're giving. But we just have given $175 million
To Ukraine or whatever it was.
No, Lebanon. So we're allies with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Israel is fighting in Lebanon.
Oh, so
and then we're gonna give them money. We're giving money to both sides. We're giving money to Israel for them to buy our weapons. And then what? We're gonna rebuild that shithole? We're gonna help them do it? Like that makes no sense. And how much help are these people getting in Florida, North Carolina,
little to none.
Tennessee? And what business do we have giving help to people in Lebanon
when we have a bunch
when
of
we have people that
struggle
need
over
help here? That is bullshit, dude.
I agree.
As much as I don't like giving money to anyone,
Yeah.
even in this country, if we're going to give money, it needs to be here first.
Yep.
Here first.
Yep.
No doubt about it. And with what she said, no, they're going to hammer her on that, and they should hammer her on that.
Yes.
All right, so I got it here. I pulled it up on my phone. This was a tweet, so you can find it, and she's not even smart enough to take this tweet down.
Kamala.
Okay, yeah, she should have done that, but she didn't. This was a tweet, 10/5, 4:37 p.m., 30 million views. The people of Lebanon are facing an increasingly dire humanitarian situation. I am concerned about the security and well-being of civilians suffering in Lebanon and will continue working to help meet the needs of all civilians there. To that end, the United States will provide nearly $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon for essential needs such as food, shelter, water protection, and sanitation to help those who have been displaced by the recent conflict. This additional support brings total U.S. assistance to Lebanon over the last year to $385 million. $385 million. And in the big scheme of things, $385 million isn't shit, dude.
Yeah.
When it comes to government and stuff like this. But the point is, it's stupid.
Yeah. Especially with everything going on right now. Like,
and there's always shit going on. But America first.
without doubt.
America first.
That's your job.
If you're in a plane and the plane's going down, have you ever flown before?
Yeah.
You've flown before. So you're flying, and I don't know if they still do this. I don't even listen to the directions anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was ever in the directions, but if the plane is descending, falling, and the oxygen masks drop, what are you supposed to do?
Put it over your head.
Okay. Your daughter is sitting next to you.
Yeah.
She's 12.
Yeah, you make sure she has hers first.
No. You make sure you have yours first.
Interesting. Really?
Or maybe you won't even be able to help her.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to apply that
You put on yours first.
Yeah. Apply that to the United States.
Just apply that, period. You cannot take care of your family in any shape or form if you can't take care of yourself first.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
You
sense.
have to take care of yourself. You have to be able to provide food, shelter, clothing for yourself.
Yep.
Or who the hell else are you going to be able to help if you can't do it for you?
Yeah.
You can't.
No, you're not wrong with that.
We should take care of our own first. And especially in a situation where this is not somebody, who is a close ally. Like, what the hell are we giving them money for anyways? Really?
No, that makes sense. It's just like a friend of a friend, and you're helping out a friend of a friend.
Well, we know that Iran is considered, if you want to believe our government or other world, countries, if you want to believe them, that Iran is supposed to be the biggest terrorist state in the world.
Yeah.
And so if we know that they're funding people in Lebanon and putting those people in danger, what the fuck are we doing? It makes no sense.
That is a great question.
All right.
That is a great question.
So this is funny. We're going to move on to our next thing. This is funny. We're going to play this first. This is not the commercial that I saw.
Okay.
Okay, but it's close enough.
Okay.
And it's close enough so I'll be able to just say the shit that I want to say.
Okay.
So I've seen it, this product out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never seen a commercial like this, and I'm going to point some things out. We're just going to let it play for once, and then we're going to maybe go through it a little bit, and I'll point some things out. Cool. So this commercial is for Blue Chew, and if you're not familiar with Blue Chew, it's chewable Viagra, basically.
Yep.
Okay?
That's exactly
it's
what
a
it
chewable dick pill.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
I knew it. I thought something is different about my man. It's Blue Chew. 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 You've done it again.
All right. So first, let's start with the women.
Okay.
So play it at the beginning. Just play it for a few seconds and then stop it. Yep.
I knew it. I
Now
thought
stop it.
something is different about my.
Yeah. So you stop. And even the second chick. This is the second chick. What do you notice first about both of those chicks?
A lot of skin.
How about big lips?
Yeah, that is actually like super,
Every
super
fucking
common.
chick in this Blue Chew video has what we used to call
the duck lips or like the
duck lips is one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you look, I seen somebody like, oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong though. I mean, it's.
No, are we allowed to say it on YouTube?
I'm not quite sure. I can bleep it out.
You
if
can
need
bleep
be.
it out
Yeah,
if I can.
Yeah.
Dick sucking lips.
Yeah. I mean,
Right? That's basically, what else are you going to call them? Right?
it's the best way to
So
put
now
it.
I want to know too. So the commercial is really directed at men.
Oh, yeah.
And there's other ones like it shows this guy in there. I'm really wish we had one that showed that too, because it's like there's no way that the guy in the commercial would be able to ever get with any one of those chicks.
Oh, yeah.
And then the idea that if all you need is this blue chewable pill and you're going to be fucking hot chick. That is not fucking going to happen. I mean, that really, this is false advertising.
Marketing 101.
This is bad. Well, this is just not fair because you got dumb men out there.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the ones sending dick pics, okay, are the ones that think if they just get this blue chew.
They just put the blue chew in the
just put the
background of
blue
the dick pic.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Oh man, I mean, they have to put it. They're gonna set an image, a certain, especially with something like Blue Chew. I mean, like they know who they're targeting. They know exactly who they're targeting.
Okay, but here's. Let me give you another point of view.
Okay,
ugly people fuck too.
that is very true.
Because ugly people fucking have ugly kids. Have you ever seen ugly kids? Let's be honest. We've seen ugly kids.
I have.
And when you see their parents, there's not very often where you go, really? That hot looking couple had that ugly fucking kid? It doesn't happen very often.
No.
Not very often.
It does happen, but
it does happen, but not very
often.
often.
Not very often. No.
Nope.
No, but it's hard to sell, or at least coming from a business perspective. You can't be putting ugly people all
But
over
there's
your
probably
commercials.
more. Why not? They put people like that in all kinds of commercials now.
I mean, you're not wrong. But
They are putting people in commercials that you would never have seen in commercials 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Based on, their size, their weight,
100%.
anything.
But I think this type of product is targeted for certain people, right? Like a lot of the things, like other companies that are focusing more on like different size weights, this and that, or like clothing brands, or like things that apply necessarily to like the different figures, right? Because like some people are like feeling like left out when they're because I grew up around a lot of women.
We don't want to leave out ugly people.
No, for sure we don't.
Like I said, ugly people fuck too, and there's probably more ugly people fucking than good looking people.
Oh, more than likely. Oh yeah.
Because there's more ugly people. Let's just be honest.
No, 100%,
I mean,
100%. I just think as a marketing thing, especially as a sex product, I don't think you want to sell ugly sex. Again,
Yeah,
this is just coming from
I get it.
like a business perspective, right? Like, oh, they know, like, whether they're ugly or not, like they know, like, sex sells a lot better when it's someone attractive. So I think in this very specific thing, I think that's why they definitely will target
It's
it
still,
more.
I feel bad for these guys.
Giving the false kind of
They're
like
getting false security, man. All they need is
blue
this
chew, just
Blue
one
Chew dick
little
pill.
pill.
And they too can have a hot chick with big lips. I mean, almost every one of them.
No, you're not wrong.
If you
It's Blue Chew. Blue Chew.
big lips, both big
Yeah.
lips.
Blue Chew. Blue Chew. Blue Chew.
Look at those at the end. Those are really
Like
big.
a little too much filler in there.
A lot of lip filler.
You're not wrong though. Yeah, I mean, it is a very specific image they're like going after.
Yes, it is. All right. So along with that, I do want to say testosterone.
I love it.
That may or may not be the answer for some men who have this issue.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have this issue to be low T.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to bring this up because I've had a couple of guys here over the last week that I've talked to, and one was going to the VA, and the VA was going to prescribe to him finally, but was going to prescribe it to him all fucked up, like the worst way possible. 200 milligrams once a week, or I'm sorry, once every 2 weeks. And he knew that was not right. And he knew it needed to be split up into each week, and actually 2 shots every week. So that would have been 50 milligrams twice a week, this is a big guy. Like, he's a big lifter. He's a big dude. He's just a big guy.
Gotcha.
Big, strong. I mean, just a big,
lot of mass
big
on
dude.
him. Yeah.
Yes. Dude, I don't even know if that amount,
Would even tickle him?
if it was given even properly, which it wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
Because every 2 weeks, when you have an 8-day half-life, and so half of it's gone in 8 days, how much of it is gone in 13, 14 days? Right? Quite a bit. You're really crashing the person.
Yeah.
It's the most horrible way to prescribe testosterone is once every 2 weeks. And every week still isn't the best. Twice a week is going to be more level. But then it does matter what the amount is as well. And do you know how many guys that I have as clients that can get into, like, say, the 900 to 1300 area, the high end of normal, on 100 milligrams a week? Very few. I've had some. I won't deny. It is possible.
Everyone's different.
Now, if the goal is to just get you mediocre in the 600 area, then that can do that. And that's the goal of a lot of doctors. They don't care.
They just want to.
They're just you're fixed. You're mediocre now. You're middle range.
Our chart says you're good, so that means you're
Chart
good.
says you're good. You're back in the chart. You have more testosterone than your wife now. Congratulations. Because I've had guys that have sent me their testosterone levels, and I trust me, their wives had more testosterone than they did. Yeah, true story. Really, really low. So that's like.
Did you like give them any advice to like get back at them, or do you?
Okay. Well, the thing is, do you want to go to the VA or do you want to get help from me?
No. Anything with the VA is just a headache, from what I've learned.
Well, the thing I'm saying is, like, look, I actually did say, go to the VA and do what they say to do. Do what they say to do. Do that for 3 to 6 months, and then come back to me and tell me how it's working. Do that. That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way. I mean, if people aren't going to want to listen,
And so then I have another guy who just messaged me actually today, 34 years old.
Okay.
And so he might be in that range where he might be having issues and might not. But he's been having a struggle for a while. He is putting in the work.
Okay.
He is putting in the work in the gym because I asked him how many days he was working out and about his diet. And we talked about that. And then I asked him if he'd ever been tested. And he said no. And really, I really push that a lot as far as being the first thing that gets done, instead of trying to do something on your own or whatever, that you might do, get tested first.
Yeah.
Have a base level. And whether you're going to do TRT or whether at some point you also decide to do like a basic cycle or do more, more of a bodybuilding type of amount.
Yeah.
That's fine, but it's good to know what your original levels where you started from. It's just going to be better. And just because it's going to put you back a couple weeks to do that,
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's
worth it to do it right. Just do it right. Because that way, when things come up, maybe side effects like acne or other things, you can know. We can check. You can do another blood test and say, did your estrogen levels go up? Because if they haven't, then getting an estrogen blocker isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
But you would know that because you have some base levels to start with.
Yeah.
And just to do that.
The more information, the better.
The number one thing, if you can get that from me today or at any time when you hear me talk about this kind of stuff, is to really just get tested first. And a lot of times when you're getting your yearly physicals and shit, I'm telling you, they're not testing this stuff. They're not giving you your total testosterone, your free testosterone, your estradiol. They're not giving you all that information. And it's important for you to have. It's as important as your cholesterol is.
That's exactly
and matters a lot more to you being healthy than your cholesterol even too. Because you're not going to be the man you were meant to be if your testosterone levels aren't right. So I did want to throw that out there too. And that's good for today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. We covered everything. A little
me.
sports, a little everything, a little blue chew.
Yeah, pretty. Funny enough, in like a few months from now, we're going to have a Blue Chew sponsorship.
Well, how would I feel about that?
That actually, let me ask you before we go. How would you feel if there was like a different company that,
Here's the thing.
that does that some sort of
I won't
supplements?
ever let anybody control what I say.
That's what
or
I
how
know.
I say
Yep.
it. And I don't care how big the check is.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't believe in the product, you're not getting me.
But
I just couldn't do it because I couldn't sell, when I still do, I promote supplements.
Yeah.
I promote Lavelle.
Yeah.
And their Thrive supplements. And you don't hear me really do a lot on that on any of my social media like this or, the podcast anyways. But there was a company that approached me and a friend with that company that approached me probably a year or two before I got involved with Lavelle.
Okay.
And even though he did really well with the company,
Yeah.
I didn't go along.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't believe in the supplements.
products, yeah.
I just didn't believe in the product. And I just can't do that. So it doesn't matter the number of people. Whatever number of people I do have, I want them to have, they don't have to agree with everything I say, or anything like that. But I want them to trust and believe that whatever I do say, that there's a reason I'm saying it, that I believe it.
There's truth behind it.
Yeah, that I believe it. And that trust between me and my clients and between me and people that get involved with my social media or watch this show, that relationship, that's what matters to me. That's what matters to me. So, all right, that's it. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life.